Today, we are making bagels for Magdelena Bay, the creators of one of my favorite albums of all time, Imaginal Disc. It came out last year. It was a lot of people's favorite album of 2024. It was my second favorite album of 2024. So I figured today, what better thing to make than some bagels inspired by this album, shaped like Imaginal Discs. They're Magdelena Bagels. Welcome to Good Taste, and I'm so excited for this video because I want nothing more than just to talk about this album. I absolutely love it so much, and genuinely I think it's perfection. I think it is so well sequenced. All the performances, the instrumentation, the lyrics, just everything is so strong. The themes are strong, and it's genuinely a beautiful album. So you may be wondering, what does this album have to do with bagels? Well, throughout the lore of this album, there's a lot of themes of circular metal media, such as, old coins or CDs, vinyl records, things such as that. And so when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, you know what? Records kind of look like bagels. I mean, I know some people call records licorice pizza, but we've already done pizza today. And honestly, I think bagels are more iconic for their circular nature. They're always going to be circular. Pizza's not always circular. Donuts aren't even always circular, but bagels are always going to be circular. And during this process, I was experimenting with sourdough bagels. I believe I made sourdough bagels once before, and they turned out, let's just say, very sour. These bagels turned out a lot better, but I definitely want to revisit them and go back to it just because I just think I can make them even better. But I really do love bagels. I think they're one of the few perfect breakfast dishes that you can really eat whenever you want. I love them with cream cheese, butter, avocado, and the avocado toast style. You can really dress them up as much as you want, and it usually is always great. Just like the tracks on this album, you have very different stylistically tracks such as Cry For Me, or Angel on a Satellite, or Vampire in the Corner, one of my favorite songs. With so many stylistic changes throughout the tracks on the album, you really don't expect it to work so well together, but it does, and it flows so well. There's also some leitmotifs, some musical through lines, not necessarily an overture, but it does find itself in a few of the tracks. It starts on She Looked Like Me, the intro to this album, and goes all the way to that last track, the Ballad of Matt and Mika. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Even the interludes on this album, there's only two, Feeling Disconcerted, which is just so funny, and True Blue Interlude. They're both so just smooth, and they add some really nice pacing to the album. And I actually just really love how after True Blue Interlude we get Image, and after Feeling Disconcerted we get That's My Floor, which are just some really great transitions from those interludes into those songs. That's My Floor was an easy favorite track when I first listened to this album, and I'm really glad that I sat with this album for love because it was really jumping spots in my end of the year list, and eventually I actually did rate it a 10 out of 10. If you're interested in synth pop, alternative pop, indie pop, art pop, alternative rock, this is really great. I really loved their previous full-length record, Mercurial World. I really thought there were some really great tracks on that, and it's also, again, one of my favorite projects, but this one just blew it out all the water. And when an artist that I really like drops a really great album, one that I believe is a 10 out of 10, I get a little weary. But Magdelena Bay, I still feel like could drop a better album in my opinion. Not that this album isn't good, I think it's a 10 out of 10, but I feel like they could even top this. I mean, it's so early on in their career, so I feel like it's only up from here. A few other artist examples of artists that have a 10 out of 10 album, in my opinion, that I feel like could drop another one are Clairo and her album Charm, and Tyler the Creator and his album Igor. If you're looking for the most well-deserved 53 minutes of music history, I genuinely can't recommend this album enough. Or just indulge yourself in the 3-track run of Vampire in the Corner, Watching TV, and Tunnel Vision. Some really great ideas that are executed perfectly. Listen to this album, stop everything you're doing, and treat yourself. And hey, do it while eating a bagel. Imagine that. Anyways, Magdelena Bay, I hope you guys like bagels because these are Magdelena Bagels and they are for you. Let me know where to send these to. Alright, bye.